Hello. Today, we will talk about a topic that very few dare to discuss, yet it is incredibly important for adult men. You may have heard about masturbation throughout your life, but have you ever wondered if it changes when you reach your 60s? It can affect your health, emotions, and even your ability to connect with yourself. Today, I will share with you 4 secrets about masturbation that every man over 60 should know to not only protect your physical health, but also maintain confidence, joy, and emotional connection in life. If you think it's just an old habit, you'll be surprised to learn that the way you do it can deeply affect your body, mind, and emotions. Stay with me, and let's uncover things no one has shared with you before. I promise these secrets will change the way you view your health and vitality. There is a question I hear from many older men when they come to my clinic. If I can no longer do it like I used to, does that mean I'm no longer a man? That question not only saddens me, but also reminds me of other men who have asked me the same thing. One of them was Mr. Prodding. Hi. 72 years old. When he first came to see me, his face was full of concern, and his eyes reflected anxiety. He said, "I feel like I'm not myself anymore. I'm not as strong as before. Does this mean I'm no longer a man?" I understood his feeling. It was confusion, the lack of confidence in the changes brought by aging. Mr. Hi is not the only one who feels this way. Every day, I meet many older men who come for consultations because they feel not like themselves anymore. But in fact, they are simply facing a natural change in their body. When the body no longer responds like it did in youth, many fear that they've lost their masculinity, their strength, and they wonder, can they still enjoy the pleasures of sexual life like before? But, my friends, let's pause and think about this. The answer is no. This change does not mean you've lost your masculinity. It's simply the natural transformation of your body as we age. As we grow older, our bodies no longer function the way they did before. Physiological mechanisms, hormones, and blood circulation gradually slow down. This means that the ability to maintain an erection isn't as quick and powerful as it once was, but that doesn't mean your masculinity is gone. In reality, these changes are completely normal. Blood circulation doesn't flow as fast as before. Hormones no longer maintain a stable level, and the body needs more time to respond to stimuli. But the most important thing is that you don't need to worry about this, because your sexual ability is not just about an erection. So, what's the most important thing in sexual life after 60? It's connection, satisfaction, and the ability to share emotions with your partner, not about maintaining a perfect erection. Many older men feel that they can no longer achieve the pleasure they used to. But this is because they are still comparing to the past, forgetting that sexual satisfaction isn't just about the perfection of the body. In fact, as we grow older, sexual experiences are no longer a race against time. They are a journey of discovering a deeper connection with ourselves and our partners. Satisfaction isn't about achieving responses like when we were younger, but about learning how to love, care for, and respect our bodies. What's more important is that when you begin to realize that an erection isn't everything, you'll have the chance to explore other aspects of sex-like understanding, intimacy, and love. A deep conversation, a loving hug, or an emotionally charged look can bring more happiness than just a perfect physical moment. I've seen miraculous changes in older men when they understood that they don't need a perfect erection to still feel like a man. They learned to let go of worries about perfection and instead embrace the changes in their bodies with peace and self-respect. When they did this, they found a new satisfaction, a new joy in life that didn't depend on the perfection of the body. So, my friends, I want to tell you not to let worries about changes in your body make you feel worthless. The important thing is to accept these changes, and instead of comparing them to the past, learn to enjoy your presence in the present, because there is no change that you can't adapt to and discover new values. You are still you, still a valuable man, and that will never change. Remember, striving for a strong, quick erection isn't always the most important thing. The important thing is connection, understanding, and feeling at peace with yourself. Once you understand this, you'll no longer have to worry about whether you are still a man. You'll realize that you are still full of masculinity, still strong, just at a different level, more mature, profound, and meaningful level. So, let me ask you, are you ready to rediscover yourself, to find joy and confidence in your sexual life, no matter your age? If you've understood this, leave a comment and let me know your feelings. I believe that if you feel the way I do, you'll realize that you can still enjoy life, even if you're no longer as young as before, but you're certainly still full of passion and happiness. When Mr. Bin, 76 years old, came to see me for the first time, he didn't come because of a serious physical issue. He didn't come because of illness, but because of a strange feeling. I don't feel anything anymore, not just in sex but in life. That statement made me pause and think for a moment. We can't live without feeling, without realizing that life is still going on, right? But Mr. Bean felt like he was in a place where there was no connection, no joy, just an empty land. At first, he thought it was a physical problem. But when I asked about his daily habits, he told me that he still masturbated every night. However, he didn't do it because of desire, but for a deeper reason. It was his way of solving feelings of loneliness, sadness, and even anxiety during long nights. He didn't realize that this seemingly harmless act had gradually become a way for him to mask the deep emotions he had never truly faced. You may be asking, what's wrong with that? And this is what I want to share with you, especially those of you over 60. Masturbation, when done without awareness and without connection, can turn into an empty act. It's no longer a way to satisfy physiological needs, but a form of escaping from unresolved emotions. This is a reality that very few realize. Why is that? When you orgasm, the body releases chemicals like dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin, which help us feel relaxed, happy, and connected. For many older men, masturbation can become the only way to feel peace, to regain a sense of control and connection. But if this becomes a habit to cope with loneliness, emptiness, or anxiety, it will no longer bring comfort, but instead fatigue, a lack of connection with yourself. Like Mr. Bin, many men don't realize that they are using masturbation as a way to cope with sadness or uncomfortable feelings within bed. This can gradually make them lose connection with themselves, with the real emotions they are experiencing. And when you don't realize this, you will gradually lose the ability to connect with true feelings, making you feel distant from yourself. Think about it. Have you ever asked yourself whether your masturbation is a natural act to satisfy your physiological needs, or just a way to cope with loneliness or sadness? If it's just an unconscious habit, can you truly connect with yourself through these actions? I want to emphasize that masturbation, if done consciously with presence and focus, will bring much greater benefits than a mere physiological release. The difference lies in whether you are aware of your emotions and real needs. When you do it automatically, without attention, masturbation becomes an empty act, meaningless. But if you do it with presence, with awareness of what your body and mind are going through, masturbation can become a healing act. It won't just satisfy physiological needs, but also help you feel connected with yourself, resolving the emotions deep inside you that you've never faced. I've witnessed many older men rediscover joy, deeper connection with their partners and themselves when they began rethinking their masturbation habits. Instead of doing it out of habit, they started to focus on the present moment, paying attention to changes in their bodies and experiencing satisfaction not just through orgasm but through the feeling of being loved, being connected. The important thing here is that you learn to listen to your body, understand the real emotions you are going through, and realize that masturbation isn't just a physiological release, but a part of the emotional healing process. When you do this, you won't just satisfy sexual needs, but also create a deep connection with yourself, your emotions, and your mind. Mr. Bin, after realizing the issue and starting to focus on his feelings with each act of masturbation, changed the way he viewed himself. He no longer did it just to cope with loneliness, but started doing it with focus, with presence. This not only improved his mood, but also made him feel more connected to life, to himself, and those around him. So, I want to tell you, especially older men, that masturbation is not just for sexual satisfaction, but an opportunity to reconnect with your emotions. When you do it with awareness and presence, you will discover a new depth in sex and in yourself. Let masturbation become a healing act, a way for you to find peace and connection, not just a way to escape from your emotions. I still remember one afternoon when Mr. Nam, 74 years old, came to see me at the clinic. He was a widower, living alone, and no longer had much interest in sex. He came to me for a reason that not many older men share easily. I don't feel anything anymore. I can't perform like before. Has my body lost all its vitality? That was a question filled with worry and disappointment. I could feel the sorrow in his words, but it was also a question many older men, like Mr. Nam, ask themselves every day. This question isn't just about a physical issue. It's about something deeper. Has my body lost its strength and sensitivity? And if not, am I still enough, still strong enough to be a real man? This question reflects many concerns, not just about health, but about self-esteem, masculinity, satisfaction, and worth as we age. And truly, I can say these things can change, and Mr. Namjost, like many others, was not past his prime. He just needed to reconnect with his body and learn how to maintain its vitality. When I began talking with him, I explained a very important rule that not everyone understands clearly, the use it or lose it rule in sexual life. You may have never heard of it, but the reality is, when you don't use your body properly and maintain a reasonable level of activity, the body starts shutting down, literally. This doesn't just happen with muscles, but with other parts of the body, including the genital organs. Indeed, not maintaining sexual activity can lead to a decrease in function, even if you don't feel the need. The human body, especially parts like muscles or tissues, if not stimulated or used regularly, will begin to atrophy. Organs and tissues, including genitalia, will lose elasticity, blood circulation won't be as good, and reflex activities won't be as quick as before. But don't get me wrong, I'm not asking you to return to unhealthy habits or try to recreate the past. What I want you to understand is, the body needs to be stimulated. It needs to maintain a level of activity to not age too quickly. The decline in sexual ability, especially in older men, is not due to age but lack of activity. When you don't stimulate your body, tissues and cells in your body begin to sleep, and they no longer respond as before. Mr. Nam, when he heard my explanation, seemed to realize something important. His body hadn't expired. It was just that he hadn't maintained an activity level to keep his genital organs vibrant. To illustrate, I told him that the body is like a motorcycle. If you don't ride it, no matter how expensive it is, it will become old and no longer run smoothly. So, what should I do to improve this, doctor? Mr. Nam asked me, his eyes lighting up with hope. I smiled and answered, "It's simple. You just need to start maintaining a healthy habit. A little gentle stimulation, some relaxation, and most importantly, don't let yourself feel like you're done. By maintaining activity, whether through self-stimulation or sexual activity, you will notice significant improvements." What Mr. Nam needed wasn't a miracle or some magic pill. He just needed to reconnect with his body, take care of it, and keep using it to maintain its freshness. Just like we exercise to keep our muscles from weakening, Maintaining a level of sexual stimulation is crucial to keep cells and tissues in the body fresh and healthy. But don't think you have to do this forcefully or put pressure on yourself. Actually, the key is to be gentle, not to rush, not to race against age, but to focus on the present moment. Let your body feel, let it be awakened, and continue functioning naturally. This feeling will help you regain some of the confidence you've lost, not just in sexual life, but in life in general. What was the result? After a few months of perseverance and maintaining a healthier lifestyle, Mr. Nam clearly noticed the difference. His body began to respond better, not just during private moments, but in daily activities. He felt healthier, more confident, and, most importantly, no longer lonely. So, I want you to remember one thing. Use it or lose it is not a theory but a reality that needs to be understood and accepted. And maintaining activity for the body is crucial for you to live healthily and happily, regardless of age. Today, we have explored the secrets of health and sexual life in adulthood, things that many of us may have overlooked or been afraid to face. Changes in the body are inevitable as we enter a new stage of life, but we can absolutely take control and maintain health, confidence, and our ability to enjoy life. Personally, working with many older men, I've witnessed many touching stories of how they've had to struggle with feelings of loss and changes they never prepared for. These men came to me, not just for physiological issues, but for the sense that they were no longer valuable. They wondered if they could still live fully, still love, feel, and enjoy the good things in life. But what I always want to tell them, and the message I want to share with all of you, those on the doorstep of old age, is: you still deserve a full life. You can still love, feel, and experience satisfaction in your sex life, no matter your age. The body may change, but your heart, emotions, and desire to be loved remain intact. You don't have to stop feeling, stop seeking joy, or stop longing for the beautiful things in life. When we realize that change is part of maturity, when we're no longer obsessed with old standards of perfection, we'll find that life in maturity really holds many unique beauties. That's when you can learn to love yourself more, respect your body and emotions more, and no longer compare yourself to the youthful, vigorous days. You can still find joy in every moment, from small actions like connecting with your partner to simply caring for yourself in a loving way. Change isn't something to be ashamed of, and there's no reason to feel like you're no longer deserving. You are still yourself, still a strong, intelligent, and vibrant man. And when you learn to accept these changes, you will realize that you can still experience joy, freedom, and satisfaction in life fully. You can still feel ecstasy, connection, and the miracles that age cannot take away from you. I hope these insights have helped you view health and sexual life in adulthood in a new, positive light. And if you feel what I've shared is truly helpful to you, if you realize you need to continue learning and taking better care of yourself, I truly hope you will continue to join me. If you want to receive more useful information on health, how to maintain vitality in old age, and tips on self-care, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell to not miss any videos. Each video is a story, a sharing that I hope will help you live healthily, confidently, and happily in the years ahead. If you've ever experienced something similar to what I've shared, or if you feel this story has touched your heart, please leave a comment and let me know your thoughts. I'm eager to hear your story, so we can share and learn from each other, helping each other overcome life's challenges. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video and listen to my insights. Remember, it's never too late to start taking care of yourself, to live fully, and to love yourself. Every day is a new opportunity to live strong and happy. And I'll always be here with you on this journey. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to continue receiving valuable insights. Live healthily and fully.